Alright, so what I'm doing today is I'm checking this freshly built road here. Got a retention pond that just got built, and I know there's been a lot of this dirt hauled in from the same pit where I've been finding a lot of my artifacts. So I wanted to come out and check this. It's been out here for a little over a year now, so it's had a lot of time to settle. But for those of y'all that are curious about how I go looking for arrowheads, pottery, whatever Native American artifacts I can find, in this particular area, the way I'm going to check it is I'm going to check this slope here, the corner of it and downward. And the reason I'm checking that before I check this is where my better odds are of finding something. And the reason for that is watershed. The sand and soil has slid down into the bottom of this pond, and the top side is still holding pretty well. So chances are whatever's on top, I mean, there's probably been a few things unearthed on top, but the majority of everything that's going to open my odds up for the best odds is going to be on this slope right here, just because you're taking away that loose soil and it has exposed a lot more stuff. And you can just tell that just from looking at rocks, the amount of rocks that are here versus over there where it's mostly just sand. So that's how I choose my best way of looking for them. Let's go ahead and let's see what we can find today. No telling. Man, that has some promise. Oh, it does. Just missing the tip though. Look at that. That's unexpected. Very, very, very unexpected. Damn, what a day. What an absolute day. Look at that. Well, that's gonna be it. And I'll tell you what, I can't really recall the last time I've had that much success um, hunting for artifacts in a while. I guess it's been over a year now. I did a creek walk, and a lot of y'all can go back in the archives and find that one, but I think I walked away with 3 or 4 points that day, and those points weren't as old as this one. They were definitely Mississippian period. I'm pretty sure all these go back to Archaic period. They're a good bit older, so and you can just tell by the material and how it's aged that it is much older. So I'm gonna kind of go through each one of these. I'm gonna start right here, I guess, with this little bottle. And this is funny to me because yesterday I was actually out and I was hunting down bottles, and I found a little workpiece that actually looked like a Lower Creek chopper. You can watch that in the video as well. And then I come out and I'm looking for artifacts and I find a bottle, which is, you know, that does happen when you're close to a river and you're pulling out artifacts that were around the river, you will come across things that were just lost over the years anyhow. But it's just funny how those things turned out. This was hand blown, and you can actually tell. Look at the little bit of imperfection there on the top. That is a cool little bottle right there. Probably some kind of polish or makeup or something of that nature, I would think. Now, I kept this as well, and I think some of y'all are probably going to say it's probably just the cord or something, but I don't believe that's the case with this one. It's just there's too much little small workings on this piece right here to be just a core of something. And if I can get it in a better, there you go. This is in the center of the focus now. But yeah, if you look around all that, there's little workings on there to make this perfectly round. Now, what it was used for, I'm not sure. There is an indentation right here. I'm not sure if it was something used for like a ball, like we would use. I mean, it looks like a ball, right? If it was something like that, I would probably say it was something more like used as a hammer. Then again, it could just be a core. I could be wrong altogether. So don't say that that's, take it with a grain of salt with what my ideas are. With things like this, it's usually questionable, but it just looks like it could be used. So I think natives were pretty optimistic, and they would take advantage of what they could. So maybe that was a tool, maybe it wasn't. Pottery here, some pretty cool pieces of pottery. This piece right here is probably my favorite piece of pottery out of all of it. It's pretty unique. I haven't really seen anything like that. It's like it's got some pine straw designs on it, and then some other little designs on it as well. I like that just because I've never really found a piece like that before. Another piece right there. And then you go down through this little bit of stuff right here. This is just your classic flake right here off of the reduction process. That downward motion off of stone. And honestly, this is probably what this could have been. This could have been for shaping up and breaking pieces of flint into the reduction process to make points, and that could have been what that was used for. That's possible, but that's just your classic flake right there. So I wanted to make sure I showed y'all that. This right here, I'm not too sure about. It could be something. I was kind of curious, thinking maybe it was a scraper, and I say that is because it's got some work pieces. It's worked on the edges, and it's worked into kind of a point right there, and this is obviously the broke end. So maybe it's nothing, but to me it kind of looks like it could have been a scraper of some sort. I am not sure. This one was kind of the same way. It almost looked like an engraver. If you've ever seen an engraver before, they have a little piece like that, a little notch. Now this one would have been more down to the nub, obviously, but it would have stuck out about right in there, a little bit further, and they could have used that for different things, but for engraving. This right here is just your classic preformed piece, I believe. This is just napped down into a, this is pre-point. This is before they would have really done some fine-tuned work on that to make it a projectile point or an arrowhead, as some would call it. So let's get into the goodies right here, because we got some good ones. Unfortunately, this one was broke. When I pulled it out like that, and I was like, oh, what is that? And then when I really looked at it, I was like, oh, you know what? That is a nice spear. That is a nice spear point right there. And unfortunately, it is broke at the top. It would have went up to here probably. But yeah, look at that. It's worked, and it's worked. Nice and thin, and that's going to be your base right there. That is a pretty cool piece. Nice point here. Unfortunately, the tip is broke on that one as well, which is a bummer, but that is still a very old piece of flint worked into a nice projectile point right there. This right here is a scraper. You can tell by the base right there. Look at that. Worked all the way around. I've been a nice scraper right there. It's amazing that this scraper actually held on. But that's a pretty cool one. That's probably the thinnest scraper I've ever seen as the wind gusts is blowing. Here's another nice point. Unfortunately, it is broke as well. I'm not sure what material that is, if that's chert or what. It could just be flint. I'm not 100% sure on the material on that one. But it's pretty cool because this edge is completely flat, and this one's, the front side's completely rounded and smoothed off. So another cool one there. Unfortunately, it is broke too. This is probably the Mac Daddy find of the day right here. That's going to be the best one. I mean, it is an absolute showstopper, and it is old. I mean, look how old the material looks. I do think most of these are archaic. Look at that. That is just awesome right there. That's a good point. A very good point. And this one right here, I believe, was a point too. I think it's just the base to one. It's worked on that side and worked on this side, and the tip would have been broken. Now, it might have not have been a point. It might have been preformed into something a little bit more like that. But yeah, just didn't quite make it. But there's a lot more to show y'all over here. So this road, I showed y'all this one side. There is a back side to it. So there's plenty more to actually be found out here. A lot more, actually. So that is very intriguing to me. I could go back out now and keep looking, but I'm gonna let y'all hang on and let y'all wait and look for another post, because we're definitely gonna be finding some more stuff. So appreciate y'all watching. Hope y'all enjoyed this artifact hunt, and we'll see you next time.